Assalamu alaikum class and a very good morning. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Alhamdulillah, Miss is also doing fine. Class, are you doing your most important thing in your life? You must be wondering, what is that most important thing that Miss is asking about? Well, I'm talking about studying. Are you doing that? If yes, then excellent. Keep up the good work. Students, today in our class, we'll be learning something new and fun. But before starting our class, I want to introduce myself to you. I am your BGST teacher and I am Khadusna Fariha from Sector 4 branch, Uttara Milestone School and College. With this introduction, let's start our class now.
So students, welcome to my class. Today, our class number is 52. Hurry up, write down the CW number on your copy and also don't forget to write the date as well. Today we are going to have our class on chapter 12, that is Bangladesh and International Cooperation. But before starting our class, we have to know what are our class objectives today. That means from this class, what are we going to learn? I'm pretty sure by the end of the class, all of you will have a clear idea about the topic, as well as you will be able to answer one-word questions regarding the topic that we are going to learn today. Also, all the students will be able to answer any question related to it. Before starting the class, let me have a short previous class review on the last discussed chapter so that I can understand how well you have taken preparation at your home. So, try to answer the following questions that you can see on the screen. Try to answer the first question. Can you recall when did UN, that means United Nations, bring out Human Rights Charter? Yes, very good. United Nations, UN in short, brought out Human Rights Charter in 1948. Now, try to answer the following questions. What is the retirement age for government service? Yes, very good. The age for retirement for a government service holder in Bangladesh is 59. Okay, now can you tell me what kind of problem inferiority complex is? Yes, very good. You are correct with your answer. Inferiority complex is a psychological problem that we can see among the senior citizens in Bangladesh. Now, can you answer me to the next question? That who said, "Give me a good mother, I will give you a good nation"? Yes, brilliant. You have again given me the correct answer. This was said by none other than Napoleon Bonaparte. Through his saying, we can clearly have the viewpoint of the importance of women in our society, right? Now, which organization declared Senior Citizen Day? Can you answer me to this question? Yes, very good. Answering to this question was easy, right? Well, the biggest international organization, which is United Nations, actually declared the Senior Citizen Day. So, the answer will be United Nations. Now, before starting the class, let's watch a video. And from the video, you people try to understand the concept of it. Now tell me, what have you seen and understood from the video? Yes, very good. We have seen the largest organization of the world, that is United Nations, right? The organization that works for maintaining peace and order around the world. But have you ever wondered, how did this organization form? How does it work? What is the structure and background of this organization that is called United Nations? Along with that, United Nations is a corporation. That means as it is helping the whole world in different way. So, what kind of corporation United Nations is, or what kind of organization United Nations is? From our today's class, in chapter 12, we are going to learn two lessons, that are lesson 1 and lesson 2. From lesson 1, we are going to learn the concept of international cooperation and also why do we need international cooperation. That means the importance of international cooperation. Along with that, from lesson 2 that talks about the United Nations and its structure, we'll be knowing the background of the United Nations and how did United Nations form. Also about League of Nations, then what was the motive of forming United Nations and also the structure of United Nations. So after this, let's start our class now. You already know that we are on chapter 12, that is Bangladesh and international cooperation. Before going into the details discussion about it, we must know what is the concept of international cooperation. Well, we know that all independent countries of the world enjoy sovereignty. Now, what does it mean? What does sovereignty mean? Sovereignty is actually the highest power a country can hold or a state can hold. Without sovereignty, no state can be formed, or that is why it is said that sovereignty is one of the major elements that we need to form a state. The government of a country is responsible to run the country smoothly so that welfare, development and prosperity of the people as well as country are ensured. To achieve this, governments of different countries run multi-dimensional programs. If we say specifically, the spread of industrialization and modernization in all societies has made the expansion of international cooperation one of the remarkable aspects in international relations since World War II. Governments, whether greatly or slightly expressive in international forums, become part of an intricate network of institutions that disseminates standards of conduct and technical procedures through different societies, consolidating cooperation as part of the country's long-term foreign policy. Ultimately, cooperation is the channel through which a nation keeps connected with prevalent economic and social patterns and with major trends taking place in the field of science and knowledge, as well as with the application and benefits. The growing advance of cooperation mechanisms means new opportunities and new problems, which in their turn begin to demand the constructions of more coherent and compatible international cooperation systems, whether in their practices or in their institutions. And countries have also realized that there are some issues they cannot solve all by themselves. In these cases, they need help from other countries or organizations. And from this necessity has given the idea of regional and international cooperation. And we know about the United Nations, right? It is the topmost among them. The advancement of international integration has brought changes to the broadest international policy label, having the diplomatic agenda of leaders and governors systematically include the many aspects of international cooperation as a regular concern. At present, each and every country in the world has its foreign policy based on their benefit and welfare. These policies emphasize ensuring their national interest by means of mutual dependence with others. That is the reason a country builds a political, economic, and military relationship with another. On the other side, all countries in the world are divided into 7 continents, including North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. Although these countries are independent, but they cannot be completely independent. because there are some necessities and problems they cannot solve by themselves. In that regard, they have to take help from other countries. For example, in your book, it has written that Bangladesh has problems like fuel crisis, environmental problems, and health and education issues. As a developing country, our government cannot solve all these problems by their own as they're developing countries. So they need support. Our government needs support. As a result, Bangladesh is taking support from all the countries as well as this kind of international organization. Again, there are some Middle East countries other than Bangladesh and also African countries where they have the racial complex and war as well. So they need to solve this kind of problem, but they are suffering to solve this problem. In these cases, also the international corporations are coming forward to help them as well as the other countries. At one side, where Bangladesh is taking help from international organization in different kind of problem solving issues. On the other side, Bangladesh is also helping the other countries who are in need of help with its peacekeeping troops. Thus, all the countries are actually surviving around the world through mutual cooperation. For this reason, the importance of this mutual cooperation or international organizations are actually beyond our explanation. Some of the international corporations are United Nations, which is UN in short. This is the largest international organization in the world and the most famous international organization of the world. On the other side, there are OIC, which is known as Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and Commonwealth as well, who are actually working for the welfare of the world. We have already learned that the countries around the world are independent, but they need the mutual dependence, as the present age is the age of mutual dependence. Even though the countries are independent, but there are some issues that they cannot solve by their own. In that regard, they need the help, and that is how they become dependent on others. There is no alternative to mutual cooperation, thus we can say. For that reason, countries are actually building up different kind of cooperation among them. A country may need help in different kind of programs and different kind of sectors like education, health, agriculture, economy, environment, weather, communication, and technology. In some cases, a country may help another country directly, or sometimes they take the help of other international organizations. For example, programs running by UNICEF and UNESCO where they are helping the countries around the world to solve the educational problem and also to solve the problems related with children's rights. On the other side, UN is currently running the program which is SDG, that is known as Sustainable Development Goals, to make the world a better place. This easily shows how important international cooperation is. Such assistance help many countries to solve major concerns prevailing in those lands. Now let's know about the United Nations and its structure. If we want to know about the background of the United Nations formation, then we first have to know about the world wars, because world wars are the reason that made people realize that we don't need war, rather we prefer peace over war. In 1914, the world experienced the First World War. The First World War took place mainly for main, that means for militarism, for alliances, for imperialism, and for nationalism. And that is why many countries around the world they got involved in the World War. And the result was not as expected, as the world got devastated and it was a great impediment, which means the barrier on the prosperity of human civilization. So the world came up thinking that it won't bring any good result if we continue fighting among each other, and for avoiding the war we need to establish peace. With the idea of establishing peace, the world came up with the first organization that worked for maintaining the peace, and that is the League of Nations. It formed in 1920, just after the following year the First World War finished, and as it was formed for maintaining the peace around the world, so this was the main objective of League of Nations. Here you can see the logo of first peacekeeping organization named League of Nations. Even though League of Nations started well, but it failed. It couldn't fulfill the objective for the self-righteousness of some countries. As a result, the world experienced another world war, the World War II. The World War II took place in 1939, and this time it was more devastated than before. The world faced massive destruction, many people died, and Japan experienced the nuclear bombs named Fat Man and Little Boy in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. For this, lakhs of people died. Japan got destroyed badly. You will have a good idea how devastating the World War was after watching this short video. So let's see what happened back then. You can now understand a bit better that how the world got devastated by the Second World War. So this time, the world again came forward to establish peace as they were thinking of restoring the peace. Not only that, they also thought of avoiding the war, as by the two world wars the people around the world understood it very well that wars are good for nothing. So this time they again came up with the same idea to form another organization that will work for maintaining the peace and order around the world. And the leaders of the world began the process of the formation of peacekeeping organization in 1941, that is known as today's United Nations or UN. The British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and the American President Roosevelt, they initiated the idea of forming United Nations, and the other leaders around the world supported them by participating in the discussion. As a result of long discussion, the United Nations formed on 24th October of 1945, the same year when the Second World War finished. This time, the world didn't wait to restore the peace for the world that they about to lose in the world wars. Now, let's know about some important information about the both world wars. First of all, the two world wars took place within the 25 years of the time. The First World War started in 1914 and ended in 1919. And just after the First World War finished in 1920, the League of Nations was formed. On the other side, the Second World War started in 1939 and lasted for years, ended in 1945. This time, on the same year when the World War II got finished, United Nations got established. So that is why United Nations has born from World War II for stopping any further wars among the countries. Now the question is, what is the structure of United Nations? United Nations has 6 organs or 6 administrative branches. And when United Nations first started its journey, it had just 51 member countries. But now 193 countries around the world have become the member of United Nations. The first organ of United Nations is General Assembly. In General Assembly, members meet to discuss and cast votes. Every year, the members elect a president for General Assembly. In 1986, Humayun Rashid Chaudhry was the president of United Nations and he was from Bangladesh. Next comes Secretariat. It maintains the administration. In the Secretariat, the Chief Administrative Officer is Secretary General. After the formation of United Nations, the first Secretary General was Trygve. He was a Norwegian as his country was Norway. And at present, the Secretary General is Antonio Guterres, who is a Portuguese. On the screen, you can see Humayun Rashid Chaudhry, who was the Bangladeshi President of United Nations General Assembly. Then, the first and present Secretary General of United Nations respectively, they are Trygve and Antonio Guterres. And then, the Trusteeship Council. Trusteeship Council is another organ of United Nations, though currently it is not working or active. But when it was formed, it mainly worked for the countries to gain their independence, but it stopped in 1994. International Court of Justice works for solving any kind of dispute or controversy among the countries around the world. Like for an example, Bangladesh fought a case against Myanmar for the rights of Bay of Bengal. This case ran under International Court of Justice of UN, and we own the case and have the rights of Bay of Bengal. Then comes the Economic and Social Council that works for improving economic development in poverty, illiteracy and unemployment. And the final organ is Security Council that is responsible for peacekeeping and defense. There are 5 permanent members of Security Council. They are United Kingdom, United States of America, Russia, China and France. And other countries are not permanent member of this organ of United Nations. Now, the question is where the headquarters of this largest organization of the world is situated. The United Nations is headquartered in New York, that is in United States of America. Bangladesh is also one of the members of United Nations. Bangladesh has become a member of the United Nations in 1974. That means after it got independence in 1971. The United Nations has its own flag. The color of the flag is light blue. A globular map of the world is set on the white in the middle of the flag. On the right and left sides of the globe are 2 rays of olive leaves. Now about the language of United Nations. Which language is used in United Nations? Generally, there are 6 official languages in the United Nations. They are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. Any of the 6 languages, if used by someone inside the UN,
it is automatically translated into the other 5. However, though there are 6 languages, but English has the predominance among them all. So, these are the relative questions on the screen from lesson 2 of chapter 12. Let's see the questions. The first question is, why did League of Nations fail? We have already discussed about it, that even though after World War League of Nations was formed, but for the self-righteousness of some countries, the world had to experience the Second World War. Thus, League of Nations failed to fulfill the objective, which was maintaining peace among the countries. Then the next question is, how did United Nations form? About answering this question, you have to discuss about the world wars, and we have already discussed it in our class. We knew how the world faced the First World War and they formed League of Nations for maintaining the peace around the world. But League of Nations failed as the Second World War started in 1939, and then when the Second World War finished, the leaders of the world sat for a discussion to form another peacekeeping and restoring organization that is known as United Nations, and thus United Nations formed. Then the next question is, what is the structure of United Nations? For answering the question, you have to discuss the 6 organs of United Nations, that are General Assembly, Secretariat, Trusteeship Council, International Court of Justice, Economic and Social Council, and Security Council. And then about discussing the flag of nation, we have just discussed it in our class. You have to just memorize the details of the flag very carefully. So go and learn these questions. Now it is time to take your feedback. Let's see whether you have understood it clearly what we have learned or discussed in our today's class. Try to answer the following feedback questions that will appear on the screen. So, can you tell me, when did World War I start? Well, very good. Now try to answer the next question. Can you tell me, when did World War II start? Very good. And how many official languages United Nations has? Can you recall? Yes, very good. And when did League of Nations form? You are absolutely right. Now answer this question. When did United Nations form? Yes, you are absolutely correct again. Wonderful. You have done a very great job. Students who could answer them all, keep up the good work. But the students who couldn't answer, don't worry. I have put the answer of the feedback as well for you. So, these are the answers of today's feedback question. About the answer of first feedback question, that was, when did World War I start? We all have learned that World War I started in 1914, when the World War II started in 1939. And about the third question, that was, how many official language UN has? We have learned that UN has 6 official languages, and League of Nations, it formed in 1920, where United Nations formed in 24th October of 1945. Now it is time to give your homework. For your homework, you have to learn all our cues that I have given today. So students, that's all for today's class. I hope all of you have understood what we have learned in our today's class. But one thing I want to warn you before finishing our class, and that is, don't forget to do your homework and don't forget to learn your lesson every day. With this, I'm ending the class. Thank you for staying with me.